Welcome to the Marketing Execution Podcast. This is the show for tech founders and leaders building B2B products and technologies. We show you how to go further, faster to get the business results you need.
From strategies to big except dreams, catch the buzz and join the execution. Marketing Convo.
I recently came across an eye-opening statistic about how much category design can drive a public company's market cap. For example, did you know that 92% of market cap growth post-IPO occurs when companies are 6 to 10 years old? Yet many founders overlook this crucial timing. Today, we uncover how understanding the 610 law can transform your go-to-market strategy and enhance market adoption, giving you sustainable growth. You'll learn a proven framework for maximizing your IPO potential, including how to align your product development with the market needs, the steps for creating a compelling category narrative, and a systematic approach to refining your marketing execution for optimal impact. Drawing from my experience scaling tech startups and generating over $500 million in revenue and shareholder value, we'll explore battle-tested strategies that deliver measurable results. Subscribe to the Marketing Execution Podcast for weekly insights on scaling your tech company. I'm Mark Donegan, and Tim and Lisa are ready to dive into today's episode. Let's go.
Hey there, deep divers. Ever wonder, when's the perfect time for a tech company to go public? You know, we always hear about those billion-dollar IPOs, but what's the secret sauce?
You know, it's funny you should ask that because it's not just about luck or hype.
Okay, they've got my attention.
There's actually a fascinating pattern that emerges when you analyze decades of market data.
Really?
Yeah, so imagine this. There was this study, they looked at over 20,000 U.S. tech companies, all founded since 2000.
Okay, 20,000. That's a lot of companies.
It is, and they wanted to see if there was a connection between a company's age and how well they did after going public, their success after the IPO.
Yeah.
And they found something pretty remarkable.
Okay, I'm on the edge of my seat here. What'd they find?
So the companies that went public between 6 and 10 years old, that sweet spot, they generated a whopping 92% of the total market cap increase.
92%? Are you serious?
92%. It's not a small boost. That's a significant surge in value.
That's wild. So what is it about that 6 to 10 year mark that's like the magic number or something?
Right. It's not just about building a cool product or service. It's about owning the entire category in the minds of consumers.
Yeah.
And that takes time.
Okay, owning the category. I like that. But break it down for me. What does that actually mean?
Okay, so think about it this way. Remember back when hailing a cab was the only way to get around quickly in a city?
Yeah.
Then Uber came along. And they didn't just make a better taxi service. They transformed how we think about transportation entirely.
They became ride sharing. Yes.
Exactly. They became synonymous with ride sharing itself.
They owned it.
They owned the category. It's about creating a category so different, so compelling that it becomes the default option for people.
So it's not just about being a player in the game. It's about setting the rules of the game.
Exactly. And that kind of influence doesn't happen overnight. Those 6 to 10 years, they're crucial for establishing that dominance.
So they're not just building a company, they're building a whole new way of thinking.
And that's what this research shows.
This is fascinating. But how did they actually measure this market cap increase? What factors were they looking at?
They dove deep into the data, looking at how much a company's value increased after going public compared to its age at IPO. It's a really robust analysis that takes into account both company performance and broader market trends.
That pattern of 6-10 years for the biggest increase that held up.
It did. It's a strong indicator that something significant is happening in that time frame.
Wow. It's like there's this hidden timeline for success. Yeah. And those companies that hit that 6 to 10 year mark, they've figured out something crucial.
They've figured out that building a great product is only half the battle. The other half, owning the category.
Okay, I am loving this idea of owning the category. But let's break it down even further. How does a company actually own a category? What are the tactics involved?
It's not about tricks or shortcuts or anything like that. It's about this thing called strategic category design.
Strategic category design. Okay, I like the sound of that. But what is it?
It's kind of like this, instead of us launching into a crowded market with a Me Too product, right? You redefine the game entirely.
You change the rules.
Yeah, you identify a problem that's not being solved well, and then you create a solution so innovative that it creates its own category.
So you're not just joining the party, you're throwing a whole new one.
Exactly. And that takes guts to go against the grain like that.
It does, but the companies that really nail this, they don't just stumble into it, do they?
Not at all. They're very deliberate about their message, their positioning. You're telling a story.
Oh, I love a good story.
Right. And it's a story that resonates with consumers. It positions them as the only logical choice in this new space they've created.
Okay, now you're speaking my language, storytelling. It's not just about the product itself, it's the narrative around it. Give me an example. How does a company actually do that?
Sure. Let's take Airbnb. They could have just said, hey, we're a cheaper alternative to hotels, right? But they did something much smarter. They tapped into this desire for unique experiences, for connecting with local cultures. They weren't just offering a place to stay. They were offering a whole new way to travel.
Yeah, they were selling an experience.
And it worked. People bought into that idea of living like a local, having authentic travel experiences. They weren't just booking a room. They were buying into a whole new travel philosophy.
It's like they hacked into the psychology of travel.
Exactly. They understood that people don't just buy products or services. We buy into emotions, stories. We buy into how those things make us feel. And they tapped into those desires and positioned themselves as the solution.
That's brilliant. It's not enough to have a great product. You need to connect with people on a deeper level.
Absolutely. It's about tapping into those unmet needs, those unspoken desires. The best category creators, they're master storytellers. They understand that emotions often outweigh logic in decision-making.
So you've got the story, the emotional connection. What else goes into actually dominating a category?
Well, you've got to walk the walk, right? It's about consistency. Reinforcing that story across every single touch point. Your marketing, your product design, even your customer service, everything needs to align with that core narrative you've created.
It's like building a whole brand universe where everything connects back to that central idea, that category you own.
Exactly. Think about Apple. They're not just selling phones and computers. They're selling simplicity, design, an entire ecosystem.
They've created a whole world around their products.
And that's powerful. It goes way beyond just having a good product.
Yeah, this is blowing my mind. It's like we've uncovered this hidden layer of business strategy.
It's funny because this 610 law, this idea of category design, it's not just for tech companies.
Really?
Not at all. It's a blueprint for success in any industry.
So what you're saying is whether you're a tech startup or a local bakery, the principles are the same.
Absolutely. Find a problem, create a category-defining solution, own the narrative.
Own the narrative. I love it.
Yeah.
It's about thinking differently, about challenging the status quo and having the guts to create something truly remarkable.
And to do it strategically, you have to understand your audience and craft a message that really resonates with them.
This has been so insightful. I feel like I'm seeing the business world with new eyes now.
I'm glad to hear that. It's all about exploring these unconventional ideas and seeing how they can spark change.
You know what's so fascinating about all of this? It's like we get so caught up in the what of a successful company. You know, the product, the technology, the numbers, but we forget about the why.
It's true. We do kind of get lost in the weeds sometimes.
We do. And this conversation has really highlighted how important that why is.
Absolutely. It's about understanding the motivation behind what people buy. You know, what drives those decisions and how companies can tap into that.
It's like creating a movement, not just a product launch. It's powerful stuff. But I want to bring it back to our listeners for a second.
Sure.
What can someone listening to this who maybe isn't a CEO or an entrepreneur take away from all of this? How can they apply these principles to their own lives?
Oh, that's a great question. And I think the biggest takeaway here is just the importance of thinking differently.
Thinking differently. Okay, I like that.
Yeah, no matter what you do or what your goals are, the ability to challenge assumptions, to see those opportunities that others might miss, that's invaluable.
It's like having that entrepreneurial spirit, even if you're not starting a business.
Yeah, exactly. It's about being innovative, thinking outside the box, and not being afraid to shake things up a little.
And hey, you never know. You might even stumble upon a whole new category yourself.
You just might.
But even if you don't, just that shift in mindset, looking for those unmet needs and creative solutions that can be so rewarding in itself.
It absolutely can. It's about embracing that curiosity and that drive to innovate, because that's what moves us forward in all areas of life.
I love it. This has been such an eye-opening conversation.
It's been a pleasure diving into this with you.
I feel like I have a whole new perspective on the business world and beyond.
That's what it's all about, right? Expanding our thinking and exploring these unconventional but impactful ideas.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of category creation and the 610 law, what's the one thing you hope our listeners take away from this?
I hope they remember that true innovation isn't just about creating something new. It's about creating something meaningful, something that solves a real problem and resonates with people on a deeper level.
It's about making a difference and leaving your mark on the world.
Exactly.
And on that note, deep divers, we've reached the end of another deep dive. Remember, the next time you come across a product or service that just seems to get you out, take a moment and think they might just be a category king or queen in the making. Until next time, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep diving deep.
The Marketing Execution Podcast is produced by Growth Stage Marketing. We are on a mission to see your company reach wild success using marketing pods.
Too big, accept dreams. Catch the buzz and join the execution. Marketing Convo.
Thank you for listening and being a part of the marketing execution movement and community. To learn how growth stage marketing clients reach more buyers and drive business impact, go to growthstage.marketing. That's growthstage.marketing.